All right, the time is 7 p.m. Today is May 23rd, 2024. This is the village board meeting for the village of Willow Springs, and this meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk Charles, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Ara,
Here.
Kennedy,
Here.
Micah,
Here.
Cash, Moon,
Here.
Carr,
Here.
President Nettemeyer.
Here, that completes the roll, and we have a quorum. Can we all please rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome again, everyone, and thank you for being here. Wonderful to see everybody. The first item that I'll move into is number 3 on our agenda, awards and recognition. And tonight I have the very esteemed honor to present an award of recognition to Lauren Lane. I will step down to the center to make that presentation. Everybody, if you don't know, Larry Lane is our tri-state fire protection district director. So I did write a few words about Larry Lane. Tonight, we recognize Larry Lane for his remarkable career. Larry Lane served as director of fire prevention for our tri-state fire protection. With over 40 and I have one to my 50 years of experience in fire service. Larry's commitment to fire safety has safeguarded countless lives and fostered a culture of safety within Willow Springs and surrounding community that we serve. Larry, your expertise and dedication has been a benchmark for all of us. Beyond your professional achievements, kindness, your integrity, and your unwavering commitment to our community safety that has endeared you and to your colleagues and community life. As you embark on this new chapter of your life, we wish you all the best in retirement. You will be greatly missed. Thank you, Larry, for your extraordinary service to the tri-state fire protection system and the residents of the village.
Things to say on the recording. I just want to say this is a huge honor, especially coming. Especially coming from the village that has set such a high bar of community service. I can't tell you how many times I've seen elected officials, department heads out and about across the community. You know, doing things to beautify the community as the holidays come around. They see the decorations and see everybody chipping in and working hard. And gosh, darn it, that's just wonderful. And it makes me feel that much better about this. And then just, I do want to tell this one story because I feel it's lovely and I just, about 10 years ago, when Willow Springs and Tri-State began our relationship together, I was assigned to the Willow Springs station and I was working at Willow Fest, of all places. And it came across the radio that there was an elderly couple that was missing. And I was just in awe of the amount of people, the trustees, the village president, again, the departments, everybody that had a radio or a phone or whatever was out looking for this couple. And it turns out they just had a really good time and they went to a lot. And they got found, and I was lucky to sit at their kitchen table and talk with them for a few minutes about how things were in Willow Springs when they were kids, and what it was like to grow up in such a great community. And I just fell in love with the town, you know, that night. And, I understand why people are born into their own places. It is a special place. And thank you very much.
Thank you again, what a tremendous honor, it is to present your Bible. What we're gonna move into next is actually, I'm gonna take the liberty of changing our agenda just a bit. If you look down the President's report, you see proclamation recognizing National Public Works Week, which is this week. But rather than save that till President's report, I'd like to go ahead and proceed with that now. And so Public Works Week, as we know, is this week. And we would like to read into the record the proclamation recognizing our fantastic Public Works Department in all Lakeview. And I'm really happy to see we have a lot of orange in our audience tonight. So a lot of representation from Public Works, which is tremendous. Trustee House, if you wouldn't mind helping me to read the proclamation for Public Works. It's been a laugh.
I usually don't read. For Public Works Week proclamation, May 19th to the 25th, 2024, it's titled Advancing Quality of Life for All. Whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities, public health, high quality of life, well-being of the people of the village of Willow Springs. Whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services cannot be provided without the dedication of public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government in the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the village of Willow Springs to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in the respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, be it now resolved. Village President Melissa Niedermeyer does hereby designate the week May 19th to the 25th as National Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association, the government agencies and activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all.
In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the state of Illinois at the village of Willow Springs, Illinois, this 23rd day of May 2024. Thank you, Fred, for helping me with that as Public Works Chair. And now, if you all wouldn't mind joining us here in the center, our Public Works Department and Director, of course, and Chairman of Public Works to take a photo of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Trustee Posh is absolutely right. We really appreciate all of you guys. And we celebrate you during this National Public Works Week. Two great things to start off the meeting with. I really appreciate everybody participating and all the work that you do. We will move now into number 4 of our agenda, which is the division of minutes. We have in our board pack meeting minutes from May 9th, 2024. I have a motion to approve those.
So.
By trustee Ara, second by trustee Moon. Questions or discussion on the minutes? Hearing nothing, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Cash,
Aye.
Moon, Carl.
All ayes and those minutes are approved. Next is village administrator report, and Administrator Grace is not here. I will report that he is at his son's graduation ceremony tonight. So we congratulate him, and we're tremendously happy for him on that achievement. And while we're on the topic, we extend our congratulations to all of the graduates of the class on their milestone. With that, we're moving to the village clerk report.
Okay, thank you. Just a reminder, the garage sales will be starting soon, June 6th through the June 9th. So if you have anything to get rid of, this would be the perfect opportunity to sell your stuff. We will have a list available on our social media, on June 5th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for that, Clerk Charles. We have on to reports of officials. Village engineer Branson's got a great report.
That's a good news to report, as I reported to the board. On the town center, I'm happy to report that the UWRD has chosen the village project for public acquisition. Then more information at the next board meeting. I have a copy Thursday. I'll be here for 90 days. Very exciting.
That's fantastic, Engineer Branson. Everyone, board members will see on the day before them, it's a letter from the NWRD, just sort of specifying what Engineer Branson has reported on, and I can't tell you how excited I am about this news, and it'll be a great project for the village of Willow Springs. So thank you for your work on it, and even though Administrator Grace is not here, I want to acknowledge him for his work on it as well, and looking forward to hearing more after that. Thank you. On to our next report for officials, that's Attorney Beck.
There is no report this evening, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. And then Village Treasurer, Dan Denny's.
No report this evening.
Okay, we'll move into reports of standing committee. First is Finance and Administration from Trustee Ara.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 881 24 days 0-10 dated May 23rd, 2024. Payroll fund expenses totaling $165,476.30.
Okay, thank you for that motion, Trustee Ara. Is there a second?
Second.
By Trustee Kennedy, thank you for that. Discussion, questions?
Just an update on some of the larger expenses for this warrant. We had about $22,000 in just routine refuse collection, billing, and then we had $13,000 in parking related to aeration and some other additional hardware for projects that the project has. So that equates to about $35,000, 21% of this warrant.
Thank you for that. Any more discussion on the warrants? Hearing nothing, roll call vote.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Cash,
Aye.
Moon, Carl.
All ayes and the warrants are approved. Anything more, Trustee Ara?
No, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you too. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam President. I had a couple things. Monday is Memorial Day. We have our service at, the corner of Archer and Willow Springs at 11 a.m. Hopefully, everybody can make it. And then also the chief wants to touch on a few things in front of us. We have, a nice little printout that Tammy did about how much money they raised on Pop on a Rooftop. And, she's got it spelled out pretty good of who donated what, and she thanks everybody involved, and then, she can touch more on it.
Thank you, trustee. We raised, I have to read this because I get a kick in. $6,724.84. I want to know where they got $1.60. Which is great. But a couple of things. First of all, thank you to Matt and your family for being there. Matt is really one of those special medalist from Tammy. Tammy did a fantastic job. She gets all the credit. She's not here. So please, everybody, make sure tell her that I made that statement. But we also still have shirts, hats, pins, and mugs available for purchase. Contact Tammy directly. All proceeds will go directly to the special. So I really appreciate everybody coming out. The second thing we have is also for good. Since I've been here, every quarter, we've increased our productivity in police department. And right now, through May 15th of this year, we're up almost 20% in citations issued, which is almost 300, which is a lot considering the 12,000. What's really important about it is this is generally going to be in response to the traffic conditions created at Archer and Wood Ridge Road, based upon the closing of the exit ramp. So we've been down there pounding people for the illegal U-turns and the non-commercial traffic. Just to try to clean the condition. I'm not sure it's really abated because we're still getting a lot of those. The third thing that I want to touch on was an incident I'm sure everybody heard last week. There were two chainsaws in Lombard. The vehicle was picked up by Oak Park, and there was a high-speed pursuit here into Willow Springs. But I want to start explaining what happened by saying that in general, police policy, and this goes for just about any police department in the country, a vehicle pursuit has to outweigh danger if the person gets away versus the danger of the actual pursuit. People get killed in these pursuits every day. Thank God. 10-year-old kid didn't get violent, but it seems to happen all the time. First of all, it shouldn't happen. You don't pursue people with that, period. Kidnapping, it's robbery, it's a shooting, it's murder. By all means, if that person escapes, the danger of them escaping is at least on par with the pursuit. They bailed out behind Pleasantdale School, and naturally that resulted in lockdown of the school. The other school on Wolf Road also closed down because through the same school district. So as a result of those actions, we had about 50 police officers from probably 10 different jurisdictions. We had 2 helicopters up and a drone for about 3 hours. Think about the cost of doing that. And the policeman wasn't going on in all those jurisdictions. I couldn't figure out who was in charge. By the time I found out who was in charge, I wasn't very happy, and I didn't have a very good conversation. So I called his chief, and his chief actually said, first of all, he wasn't on the scene, which I don't understand. Or also communication, something like that, to make sure that we're having the operation. But he actually argued with me about shutting down. We actually caught one of the 2 individuals right. And the other one was searching for us. And he said, well, I didn't make that call to shut it down. I said, well, I mean, you could do it on my own. And he agreed to do it, and then unfortunately, one of our residents ran into one of the kids in his backyard. Now that circuit, that problem eventually occurred. All's well that ends well, but you know, just, I'm baffled that it happened in the first place, and it's just shocking that, those decisions actually being illegal. It makes no sense to me. We make mistakes all the time, but thank God everything worked out okay. Naturally, there was a lot of, I'm not going to say it was terrible, there was a lot of conservative and good problems going on. And the problem was, I couldn't even figure out what was quite some time. So, those incidents are problematic to me. I'm going to be talking to the various chiefs associations that are involved in to try and come up with a unified way to approach these things, because when you've got 10 different jurisdictions in our town, I can't even communicate. I don't know just where, I don't know what they do. And it's just impossible. So, fortunately, it ended up okay. For both guys, and I think the chains are also okay. And Mayor, I have to apologize to you, being exactly as I was.
So I can share that I did just so happen to be there during pickup at the elementary school as all of this started to unfold since then. And what I can say about that is that, exactly what Chief said, I mean, this is a situation that was shaped to us, not something that we initiated. And so, I can say that I observed, the school and our police doing an outstanding job, and for that, I'm extremely grateful. And like Chief said, I'm very grateful that nobody did anything. So thank you for your work on it, and thank you for any follow-up that you are going to do with the Chief Association. Better understand, because I think we all struggle to find the common sense in how this ensued from two chambers.
Actually had officers from 6 different municipalities converge on my cul-de-sac and forbid me from parking.
And the other thing that I will add with this, in the communication with the community, I think that's always a struggle. How do you best communicate with the community and most efficiently communicate with the community when something's going on like this? And then there's a struggle to even identify what exactly is going on, and then you want to make sure that you communicate with the community, but that the information that you give is good information and what channels you use. And so with that, lesson learned here, we did push out community alerts on Facebook, and that is what we have been doing with a very typical image that says community alert that we hope is recognizable to our community members. But in addition to that, going forward, after hearing some feedback, we will also mirror that message and push it out through Mixel as well. So with that being said, please, everybody share with your neighbors, share with your friends to sign up. Because that's what service and way to communicate with them. Is there anything more for food? Anything more from Trustee Kennedy?
Yeah, Chief, hopefully you guys get some good lessons learned that you can share with the other chiefs and the meetings. That's all I have.
All right, thank you both so much. If that concludes that, then we will move now into, municipal buildings and grounds committee.
Thank you, Madam President. As everybody's seen, as you walked in, the village hall is complete now. It looks absolutely beautiful. The other thing is, we got 2 backboards put up at Lions Park. And tomorrow, hopefully the splash pad will be open. And, for Park and Recs, June 21st, is our first concert in the park, Whiskey River. It starts at 7, so hopefully everybody can make it. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Trustee Micah. Appreciate that. I will just echo, what he says. As you can see, the village hall renovations are done. I hope that everybody enjoys. Really, really tremendous. I hope everyone else likes it.
Need the clock back.
We do.
That's it.
Noted. We'll move into now public works committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I did most of my report already. But I would just like to thank Public Works again for, helping out with the top on the top. I think people that believe in quality set up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know who else you had with you. And whoever was responsible for blowing up the donuts. Never been found out with it. But, thanks a lot for your help to me that, set up, broke it down, and guys did stop by us and I during the time we was holding the check. And, that is our report.
Thanks, trustee Todd. We'll move into license and franchise committee, trustee Moon.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Would you have a new, business license that's on the agenda? And I'm going to, we do this in action, and always go very close to our action.
Okay,
That's my report.
okay, thanks, trustee Moon. We'll move to building and zoning committee, trustee Park.
No report.
Okay, thank you, trustee Park. And we will move now into action items. And as, trustee Moon said, we do have 3 action items before us tonight, and they are all related to the business application for Three Kings Gas Inc. That is at 8700 Archer. So for those of you who are not familiar, 8700 Archer is the gas station here at the corner of Archer Road, which has been vacant for a little while and now was recently purchased. And we have a business application for our consideration for that space. The applicant is Three Kings Gas Inc. He is an Illinois corporation. The applications have been received and reviewed by our staff, me and the License and Franchise Committee Chair as well, and board members. I'll also add that the village administrator and I met with the representative of Three Kings Gas Inc. to learn more about the business being considered here tonight, and I do see that representative here this evening to be available for questions. Thank you for that. I will add also that we received a couple of questions regarding the process of our action tonight, particularly whether or not an ordinance must come first, and whether a corporation can apply for a liquor license. Right, confirm with Attorney Peck that this is all in order, and we are within the rules of our code to proceed. Do you have anything to add to that, please?
Just to follow up on what you had said, it's perfectly acceptable in the state of Illinois and the village of Little Springs for a corporation to apply for not only a business license, but also for a liquor license. Inasmuch that what you're looking for is an entity, and a corporation is an Illinois entity that can be sued, and it has standing in the court. So that's what you're looking for when you talk about an applicant for a liquor license or a business license.
And in terms of the process that we're following tonight,
It is all in order. I would suggest, and we had discussed it a little bit ago, to perhaps go back and make it a little bit more clean and up to date. But the way that you're doing it right now, taking action, as long as it's on the record and it's made by motion, you're fine. Everything will be good.
Thank you for that. And as I said, I do see we
Can I
have.
ask a few questions? Because I needed a little clarification as we move forward. I need to understand terminology of how I view that when this group right here makes a motion and then we authorize a business license, I view that as the authorization. This discussion and this vote is authorizing the license, not when the license is actually physically picked up, which is it when the business owner comes and picks up the license, or is it when we make the motion here and we have the discussion?
You're talking about a liquor license or?
No, I'm just talking about a business license. Let's start with the business license because it's my frame of reference for trying to understand the process that's current.
So I believe that as soon as your action is taken here this evening and voted upon, there is a business license granted to you.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed clarification. It was my interpretation, but I needed clarification. Thank you.
Okay, so as I said, we have a representative here from Three Kings Gas. And if you don't mind, could you please step forward and tell us your name and a little bit about your business that you intend to envision?
Good evening, everybody. What's up, Justin Joseph. I'm representing the Three Kings Gas, and I'm in this business for like for last 4 years. And I have gas stations in Barrington, Robin, Hawkins Park, and Loda. And this is the second one which I lease from the dealer. Actually, I'm leasing this from the dealer. Like a Cipco, I'm leasing this from the Cipco. So I think I'll give my words to Matt that we can keep it clean and everything from our side, and we will do it in our proper manner. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What we will do now is take each action item individually, but first, I will ask for a motion to approve the business license for Three Kings Gas Inc. located at 8700 First. Is there a motion? By trustee Tosh, second,
Second.
by trustee Micah. Okay, now discussion or questions from the board for the business license.
Yes, I guess so. Just wanted to thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. So in the application process, you read the whole application, right? So let me ask you the first question. The first item on here is check with the building department, make sure your locations have, it's zone correct. Did you check with that? Did you check with the building department to verify the zone? That gentleman right over there.
So I think if I could jump in, I would say that our staff went ahead and verified the zoning as part of the application process. Our staff has reviewed the application, and everybody, I think, would agree in this case, especially the previous case was also a gas station. It's clear that this is within the zoning.
Okay, I'm just trying to set a framework for how people apply, and this may not be directly towards you, but just to elaborate on the process. And then, did you have an opportunity to read our business license, village code? Did you read any of that? You did? Okay, great. I'm getting this here. Next of all, can you give me a little bit of background? It says a gas station with a convenience store. Now, my interpretation of a convenience store is a place that sells food and drinks, and in parentheses, you put liquor and gaming. So I was just kind of trying to understand, what did you think your percentage of square footage was going to be dedicated to what you thought your business plan was going to be for liquor?
Mostly for the convenience store, we are planning to do like other stores having like the soft drinks, then bread, the dairy product, and we have like then liquor and some cigarettes. So the liquor is like, I will kind of
the ballpark about what percentage?
Yeah, I will consider it as like 20%, less than 20%.
About 20,
Yeah,
about 20%. So it's a small portion of your
Yeah.
store. So they that's my frame.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Next question is, there's on page 3 of the application, it says, will your business use store hazardous material on property? You check no. Now, it's my understanding that gasoline is pretty flammable. And this is checked no, so I'm trying to understand why it was checked no and not checked yes. And then the following, if it was checked yes, please list the nature of the materials and method of storage, because gasoline is flammable, and I don't know what else you might be selling that might be flammable, and that may be important to the fire inspector. And if this is checked no, maybe somebody would have just flown right by it. So would you agree that gasoline is flammable? Okay. Is there anything else that you would be selling that's flammable, such as refilling or refilled propane tanks or any other products inside your business so that the fire inspector would be aware of it? Do you plan on selling anything else besides fuel?
As of now, we were planning like for the propane we will plan, but I think as of now, I think it will take like more than 6 months to get the propane the station as a new license.
Okay, so those would be things that we would need the fire inspector then to look at your property Out of curiosity, how much longer do you think it's gonna be before you want to open it?
For the propane,
No, just in general, I mean, for your gas station open, how much longer? Month, 2 months?
it's like, it's like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, and you don't have any construction planned for?
Actually, we need to get the permit for changing that brand. We need to do the canopy works on.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
That's the thing.
At this point, that kind of concludes my, questions. I just want to make a statement that, I was surprised by getting an application that had something that's starkly wrong with it. And I wound up in this packet before somebody reviewed it within our business administration. Because I did a lot of research on this, and the reason I do a lot of research is because I question whether the research is done and the vetting is done before this application arrives here. So I just want to make that.
I'll add with respect to the hazardous materials, sir. So fuel tanks and your gas storage tanks, that is the jurisdiction of the Illinois State Fire Marshal, right? And you expect to have those properly inspected as need be by the Illinois State Fire Marshal, correct? Not the inspectors from tri-state, right?
But who would then be responsible for the propane inspection?
Anything with the building premises, please, we need to be kept up to date. It sounds like you're aware of that. If you're going to do construction, you need a permit, of course. As always, the village code and our rules apply, and that would be the jurisdiction of necessary fire inspectors, perhaps our building inspector. And it sounds like you're aware of all of this and you have other locations, and it's not your first rodeo. I appreciate your attention to all this. Any other questions from the board?
I would just like to make a comment that, I would never want to deny anybody to come in out of town and not open business and being refused. Yes, you know, there are questions on this one. We've never had them in my years here in the complex. And I did have questions, and thanks to Eric and Misty and Ryan, that these were answered. We have to understand that any business that moves to town, whether it's new or it's been here a while, is held to certain regulations and rules by the town. And that's why we're given the opportunity every year to accept or deny somebody's license. So if everybody stays on board and things are done right in your business, which I know, you know, you will, you can come here to not make money from a lot of business. So, I just want to let you know, I appreciate you coming into town and applying for this thing.
Any more discussion from the board? Okay, we have a motion, we have the second hearing, no more discussion. Let's do a roll call vote, please, for the business license for Three Kings Gas.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Cash,
I
Moon,
Aye.
Carl.
All eyes on the business license. Thank you. We'll move into the liquor license. So I will give a discussion on this. After confirming with the applicant that the convenience store will not sell primarily alcohol, and it sounds like there will be other things, which I see as huge positive for the village, that they'll be able to go there to grab a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, and those things. That's all fantastic. With that clarification, and now that further information, on our board agenda here, it says Class B liquor license, and I would amend that to be Class B1. And the difference is that Class B is when it's primarily liquor, and Class B1 is for other things that are not primarily. So what I'll ask for then, so I say this language correctly, is for a motion for the board to improve increasing the Class B1 liquor license by 1, that I then as liquor commissioner would assign, would intend to sign to Three Kings Gas. May I have that motion? By trustee Moon, second by trustee Tosh. Questions or discussion?
Oh, yeah.
I got a quick question. So we got so many different types of liquor license.
Mhm.
Does that have to be approved to have that B1 or would it fall under the B?
B1 is already an existing class in our code. What our action is doing now is that the village board needs to approve increasing that class by one license so that then I, as liquor commissioner, could assign it to Three Kings Gas Inc. Right now in our code, there are currently 0 allowed for class B1, and that is by design. So in order to be able to assign it, the village board needs to agree that that's the appropriate class and create it. And, or I should say, and increase it by one.
Okay, my statement to the motion that was made is the fact that under our liquor license village code, under 4-3-10, limited the number of licenses. It specifically states the board of trustees shall determine by ordinance the number of licenses that are available for each classification. A liquor license may be issued to an applicant by a local commissioner only after such license has been created by the board of trustees. So I'm struggling with the fact that there is no ordinance on our agenda before we are able to vote on this to make this possibly happen. So I'm struggling with that because of what our village code says.
And I'm fine with the way that it's worded. You can make a motion to increase the liquor licenses, create a new one. We can have the clerk assign it an ordinance number. And I think what your issue is that you don't have an actual physical ordinance before you.
Right.
And you don't need the paper version of it in as much as it just needs to be on the agenda. You need the action to be taken by the village board to be on the agenda.
And I will add that not too long ago, we did it exactly this way and it was unanimous.
Well, once again, I've gotten pretty educated on this over the last week, reading a lot of village code, and my layman's interpretation is what I just said. I view that ordinance needed to be created and the change needed to happen before we could ever issue it, and not tied to an alcohol license, a liquor license that we're voting on tonight. Because we're not voting on the ordinance. We're voting on the license, and that's what's in the agenda.
We're voting on increasing class B1 by one.
No, that's the way you.
That is the action, that is the motion for.
But it wasn't stated that way, and if there was anybody else that wanted to come before us to ask that question or figure out what was done, it looks like we're putting the cart before the horse. By me reading this, that's the way I interpret it, okay? Because when I looked at that, it says action to approve Class B license. And first of all, we had no Class B licenses available. So I was also questioning, why was this even coming before the fact that we needed to change or have an ordinance before we even entertained this?
Maybe it would be helpful to give an explanation of why we have the number of maximum. That's by design.
And it's certainly by design, but just to address your issue, it's on the agenda. You know, the action can be changed just as much as we're changing it from a B to a class B1. It's becoming a little bit more restricted. But you can make changes as long as the general populace, the residents, understand that what's being considered here is a liquor license. Okay, I think that's your primary importance. To your point, if you would feel more comfortable, certainly at the next meeting, we can bring forth an actual ordinance. You can take action this evening, and then you can go back at the next meeting if you want and reaffirm the actions taken this evening.
But once again, what we said, I asked you a question prior to this about our voting automatically means that the permit's approved. We have the permit or the license is not available. So once again, I asked that question specifically to try to understand the process.
Well, you have me confused because this evening, if you vote right now on a class B1 liquor license, it is created. Once it's
Increasing by
created,
one.
it's increased by one. So there is a new liquor license created. Once that's created, it's out there. and the liquor commissioner has the ability to give it to
But
somebody.
once again,
And it sounds like trustee Ara, you're stating that your preference is that an ordinance should have come first.
yeah,
The legal counsel is saying that is not necessary, and so I think that ends our discussion unless there's any more questions.
I have several other questions.
We've done this.
We have, absolutely, and it's been a unanimous vote.
And I'm not saying that that was correct.
What are
I'm
your,
questioning
I
that.
think we understand this question and the issues there, and I think the educate on that. And so I would ask, what are your other questions?
So I think we cleared up because we went to B1, the whole issue about, question number 7, which was if the sale of alcohol liquor is incidental to the principal business, describe the principal business, and that is now listed. It was listed as NA, but we clarified that we're going to B1, so this principal business then is some gas. So we got that cleared up. What I was looking for was an answer a little bit, and I think I got the answer from you already, which was take the length of time the applicant's been in business and the nature of the applicant's business experience. So the answer that you have put there was 2 years, and then you explained that you own other businesses in a similar manner. So now I'm educated that I understand that you have other similar businesses. That helps me out right there. The only thing I wanted to let you know is based upon our approval of the operating hours for the business, it was 6 to midnight. And then the liquor license B1 is from 7 to midnight. So there's an hour in the beginning that you can't sell. I just wanted to make sure you understood that. And the whole issue, I'm not going to get into this whole other stuff regarding being a U.S. citizen. That's already clarified, so I will skip over that. But that's my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you for your patience and for answering the questions. I'll ask for roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
No.
trustee Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Hash,
Aye.
Moon, Carr.
And the liquor license increased by 1 for B1 as approved, and I intend as liquor commissioner to assign that. Finally, the third action item we get to is your sign permit. So I will ask for a motion to approve the sign permit as presented to us for Great Kings Gas. May I have that motion? By trustee Micah, thank you for that.
I'll second.
By trustee Kennedy, thank you too. Discussion or questions on the sign permit?
Yes, I got a few. Once again, I looked at detail in the sign application, and really I'm kind of confused because the pictures show all the signs that were there under mobile. And then when I looked at the walls, the only thing that caught my eye here in the application was you're applying for a front wall sign. So I take the front wall sign as being the address is 8700 Archer, so the front wall is on Archer. Yet when I went over to your property, I looked at there's a sign on Willow Springs Road, which is a sidewall. I also noticed that there's 2 canopy signs that I don't see any information on here requesting canopy signs. So the application appears to be just for the one wall sign and not the other signs, even though there's pictures in it. Because I don't know the details of the other signs, size, and if it needs to be, have some engineering approved before that is done. So I'm trying to figure out what is this application for? Is it 1 sign on the wall, 2 signs on the wall, or also including the canopy signs? Because this document doesn't say anything about the canopy signs. I'm trying to figure it out.
We're looking for like one sign, separate sign, canopy signs. And we need like the regular price sign, all the gas stations. We are applying for that.
Right, and I see that this application it looked like it was filled out by your installer, this company that's in the bottom, yet it's not filled out for all the signs that are supposed to be available, that are supposed to be on there. So I take it that this is all about one sign, because the application just says one sign. Yet the other sign that's on the other wall, it's not indicated here, it just says front wall sign and my shop. So I don't know how the board wants to proceed with this, because the ones on the canopy are not defined in the application, and I don't know what the size of that is to find out if the engineering needs to be. Because once you get above, I believe it's 50 square feet, 40 or 50 square feet, then it requires an engineering review. That's all reading the ordinance. So, I don't know how we want to handle this.
Sir, it's my understanding, anything that says on mobile home now is gonna say citizen. You have two of them on the canopy. If you're just changing the glass on it, the sign staying the same. One on R2, you're just changing mobile Citgo and the one on Willow Springs.
Any other questions?
So that's, I mean, that, to me, that could be cleaned up, that's just. I mean, in the pictures, yes, you're showing the ones on the canopy, but it's not on the,
It's not on the
I
application.
mean, just be, no big deal. These guys okay for the size and everything, and they're changing the glass on it. I don't know, let's clean up the application for the sign. So we got correct. That's all I have to say about it. I mean,
So can we
nothing
approve it on,
changes.
approve it contingent on, cleaned up application?
I mean, I don't think so, I don't want to hold this whole thing up because the sign was
Can we,
not all this.
can we approve this contingent on him, being more specific on the sign application?
Absolutely, you could do that, or he could just amend it before you this evening and just clarify that the three signs that he was just talking about are the only signs he's going to be working with.
There's four.
I apologize.
Two on the canopy, two on the roof.
Okay, so as long as those aren't going to increase in size or location, his application, just take it to be amended here this evening. And you have to conform with it.
They were existing anyways, I mean, they're just being changed, so there's no
So
structure.
then why, how about this, Eric, you can confirm that this is, sufficient, but I would ask for the motion then to approve the sign application with the expectation that it be amended based on our discussion.
With the condition that you perform in accordance with what's been said here this evening.
Before we leave the whole subject, I just want to reiterate, I had the opportunity to go look at, because I want to see versus the application. But, one of the things that really jumped out at me was the amount of glass space that had signs adhered to it. And as going through the ordinance, the village ordinance, and I don't know how much we've been boards here, but it talks about sign obstructions prohibited. Says no sign shall be permitted to obstruct any window, door, fire escape, stairway, or opening intended to provide light, air, ingress, or egress for any of the buildings. That building currently, from the previous owner, has a large amount of window space that's already covered, and I would like to see that all removed to fall in line with the sign permit that we're talking about right now. So you understand what I'm talking about? I want to bring that up.
My opinion on that is we should check into that because that's all wording. You know, I'm not one for signs and windows blocking view of anybody walking by. We do have them in town, and I think according to that, it says that it impedes light coming through these new windows.
And while,
Have holes in them, let light go through.
They just advertise.
and yes, and
Right.
while I appreciate that discussion here, I will just add as a term. And in the past, and as we know, that going forward, businesses are always still subject to our code. So if we see that or anything that is a code infraction ever in the future with any business, we have the ability to rectify that situation.
I don't think we need to, be that way.
Yeah. So Attorney Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, we have the motion, we have the second, or do I need to ask for it again with my new language?
I would amend it.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll ask for a motion to approve the sign permit for Three Kings Gas located at 8700 Archer with the expectation that the application will be amended based on our discussion here tonight to capture the dimensions for all four signs. May I have that motion?
So,
By trustee second? By trustee Michael, thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, hearing nothing, roll call vote, please.
Trustee R.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Micah.
Aye.
Ash.
I,
Moon. Carol.
And now that completes all of our action items, and I want to say thank you so much and welcome to Willow Springs and wish you all the best. Thank you, sir.
Well, good luck.
All right. Thank you for being here. Any old business that wishes to entertain? Any new business?
Yes, I have a couple of issues. My opportunity to go through a lot of these village codes and things that we stumbled across. One of the things that became, really frustrating to me were the amount of work that had to go through because I couldn't verify. Well, we talked about the issue of licensing the terminology. So that starts now. My understanding now is that issuing of license terminology references the government. So that's what our village attorney said. So that's great. I understand that. However, I felt that some of the due diligence provided to the board in the board packet wasn't necessarily done. There had been several phone calls back and forth and things that came up that were not very clear or understood by people on the board, including myself, especially myself. I'll speak to that. I believe that the business license, which has a sign-off sheet on the back, needs to have the proper inspections done prior to this going before the board. And I mean, some people are disagreeing with that, okay? But I believe that sign-off sheet, because some of the people that I've talked to believe that, one, the due diligence has been done, and second of all, is that the people are aware that there are inspections that are required by our village code. And in some cases, it's stated before the license is issued. Is not being done. And I'm finding it difficult that I'm starting to better understand this, and I'm finding it difficult that the due diligence is not done. And I think we need to go back and better define this process. I delved into it and became very frustrated because of some of the things that came. So the task for me would be a better defined business application process and add the understanding of the permit issue when that actually occurs. That occurs because until I asked that question, I had an assumption and confirmed it. So thank you very much. So I think that's an action item that we need to take up outside of here. Second of all is, in reviewing a lot of these applications, and I think a couple other people have also noticed it, is that there are some things that are incorrect on our applications. And I think that with any of the summer coming up, and if we're fortunate enough getting summer help, we could possibly go through our applications, which are on our website for people to do business with in the town. Whether it's a business license and a liquor license, anything. I found a lot of mistakes in there and some things related to citizenship requirements that don't seem to apply to the way we do business here, that need to be changed. And I would like to see that task taken on as somebody goes in, and there's probably about 20, 25 forms on there that somebody could go through, look at them, mark them up, change the forms and update them. And maybe we can do that during the summer when we get some summer help in here to get that done. So those are two things that I'd like to see as new business and things done outside of here.
Okay, thank you for that, feedback under new business, trustee R. I guess just in response to that, what I want to say is that I heard, about your frustration with the process. And what I can say from my perspective is that there's a tremendous amount of vetting that goes into these applications and a tremendous amount of work upfront. And, that happens from our staff, from our administrator, from our building commissioner, and all the way down, and I myself have, in many instances like this one, met with the applicant. So I think that what you're finding is that you get an application presented to you in a board pack. And if you'd like more, information about the process that was followed to get it to that point, then you are always able to call and ask questions and get that feedback, which I think we did that this week. But in terms of how to capture that process, I'm not sure how you capture that, and we had this discussion other than to have the discussion. And once we had the discussion, I was able to tell you all the steps that were taken to vet that application. So I don't want to get into a back and forth. I just do want to respond to your frustration and assure the community, which I think is important, that they know that there's a tremendous amount of vetting that goes into these applications, that it's not always captured when it makes it to the board pack, but it does not get to the board pack unless that work is done.
Well, they said before, this is a process. I mean, I don't want anybody held, responsible. Lord, you've been doing this for 16 years,
I'm
you
18.
know, and this is the first one that I've done. 7 years that had questions, and
Thank you
taken
for,
care of.
thank you for pointing that out.
So I just wanted to.
I think that's important to know, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, does that complete new business? Do we have anybody signed up for public?
Yes, we do. Christina? If you could just state your first and last name.
My name is Christina Mahalik. I wanted to start off by saying that I'm not here tonight as a member of the Land Club and as a commissioner. Maybe a friend or a friend, but I'm a direct resident of Willow Springs. Been a resident here for 9 years. I participated in tax credit. I was asked Tammy, what time we should be there. I got there for 30. I just want to say to everybody, being a resident here, what an amazing event that was. I got to meet Matt and the family, he was amazing. We had a little friendly competition and getting our jugs who got most money, which was amazing. It was great to see public works there. I know I have to wait, so I can only imagine out there. All of public works that showed up, kept asking us, hopefully my mom was like, constantly the police officers that were there were amazing, the bodies that came out. The residents, the trustees, all of you guys, I got to know a lot of you guys a lot more that day. Know about their passion about this community as well, talking to you guys about the end of the year. Definitely seen a lot of residents come out and show their support in the community, and we wanted to, and wanted to thank you to her for putting this. I always stop by a lot of properties we might come in, and the fact that I was able to participate this year as a resident, it was amazing. And I hope, thank you to Tammy for all of her work and bring children to the area. We raise a lot of money, we see a lot of towns. Thank you for everything. Yeah, I think that came out, I know, Brian, my house, I love you, great. So I just want to continue doing what we're doing, and I'll do that, the series that I moved here almost 9 years ago. I was thrilled with everything. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. I plan on raising her until we retire from me, and keep raising me, and I love it, and I hope everybody close for me.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Christina. Thank you for your work that day and for the work that you do and your volunteers and for the village. We really appreciate it. Thanks for your comment. Does anybody else sign up for public comment? Okay, then that just leaves us with. Pardon me, sorry. There we go. Okay, thank you. Village President's report. We did mention the Village Hall renovations. I just want to highlight them again. Actually, yes, if they are. Village newsletters are coming out. They should hit your mailboxes. If you haven't already got them, we do have some extras here too. If anybody is. Congratulations again to Larry Zink. And hats off to our Public Works Department, Director Grantland. Hats off to our Public Works Department as we conclude your public works. Welcome to our newest business. Thank you again, Mr. Justin, for being here. And then for our board members and staff for another productive meeting and job well done. We appreciate you and the audience for being here. I want to point out that our next meeting is June 20th. So in summer, we move to our annual meeting. So our next meeting is June 20th, and then we'll move once a month until September when we with that, that completes the president's report, and I will ask for a motion. By
I'll
trustee,
second it.
second by trustee Pop.
I'd like everybody look at Larry right now. There's a smile every time. I told them before the meeting, I never seen a smile like that in the last moment.
All right, we have the motion to adjourn by trustee Posh, second by trustee Moon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Everyone, we're adjourned 8:06. Thank you.